Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm from the United States in North Carolina, and I spent the last 2 weeks in San Pedro, Guatemala, learning Spanish here at the escuela.
Yeah, and how was your experience here at San Pedro Spanish School?
Oh, it was amazing. Even like before I came here, just emailing with Ramon, he was so responsive and he was really nice and very accommodating. And then once I got here, everyone welcomed me with open arms and everything was really easy.
Yeah, nice. Before to come, I know that you are the university, right? At college or university?
I was in medical school.
Okay.
Now I'm on vacation for a little bit of
Okay.
time. Yeah.
And I know that people who went to medical school they learn very fast a lot of things in life.
That's true.
And how do you feel that is your progress here learning Spanish?
I think naturally I'm not someone who picks up languages very fast. I think maybe my brain isn't wired that way. But definitely having the experience of being in medical school helped me learn a little bit faster. But I think the best thing about this program is it forces you to speak out loud and to just try speaking, because that's the biggest hurdle for me is I was a little bit shy to speak Spanish because I would make mistakes and I don't like to talk and make mistakes. But here it's a very comfortable environment. The teachers are really nice and they encourage you to just try to speak. And that's what really, I think, took my Spanish to the next level.
Nice. Good to know that. And what do you think about the methodology one-to-one, one teacher and one student?
I think it's really good. I think it would be really difficult if there was one teacher and multiple students, because everyone who comes here has a slightly different level of Spanish knowledge prior. Some have no Spanish knowledge at all, and that's okay. And then some people like me, I studied Spanish a little bit in university, and then I tried to do some apps like Duolingo by myself. So I had a little bit of knowledge coming in, but I think it would have been really difficult to have another student with me, because it would have we would have held each other back. It was really nice to have the teacher kind of cater specifically to my needs.
Okay, nice. Do you know that Duolingo is created by a Guatemalan guy?
Really? I didn't know that. Oh, that's so interesting.
His name is Luis. I don't remember his last name, Luis Bon Hike, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's a Guatemalan guy
Oh.
that right now he lives in United States, but yeah, he creates Duolingo. He's from Guatemala City, I
Whoa,
think.
he's a genius.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, when people ask me about him, I know that he created, but he don't live here, so
Okay.
I don't have more information about him. But yeah, I know that he created Duolingo. Yeah, nice. So yeah, so you started to learn Spanish in Duolingo, right?
I did, and I took a few classes in university. But really, it's not the same as being here in person, speaking it every day. And also staying in the homestay was really helpful for me, because breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I sat with my host family and we just talked in Spanish about the day, about what we were doing. And I learned so many vocabulary words and so many phrases that I think I probably wouldn't have normally learned elsewhere.
Yeah. And do you think that is the same experience if you stay with a family or against just to learn Spanish with a teacher here?
No, I think the homestay really adds a lot to the experience. I obviously don't know, because I only did the homestay the whole time. I didn't stay anywhere else. But I can only imagine I wouldn't have come this far without my homestay family, because I really picked up a lot of Spanish just hearing it spoken around me every day. And you get the real Guatemalan experience. I think it's much better if you stay with a family, and it also benefits the families of the community, which is good too.
Yeah, nice. And do you think that people, or in your case, do you gonna use the Spanish just for traveling, or you have another purpose?
Yeah, so obviously it's really nice to have Spanish for traveling, and I do like to travel a lot, especially in Latin America and hopefully soon in Europe. Most of the world does speak Spanish, so that's a plus. But really for me, the main reason I came here was because as a doctor, I'm going to be obstetrician, gynecologist, and so many of the patients that I've already seen throughout medical school, especially in North Carolina, and a lot of areas in the southern United States, a lot of areas in all of the United States really, have a lot of people who speak Spanish, a lot of immigrant population, just like a lot of the patients that I've encountered so far speak Spanish, and I think you can just make such a better connection with a patient if you speak their language, if you understand them, and it's just so much easier to speak one-on-one with a patient than have to use a translator, for example.
Yeah, it's too hard sometimes to use that translator.
Yeah.
If you want to explain specific...
Exactly. It needs to be specific, and it needs to be more intimate and more face-to-face. And when you're speaking to a translator, it's so much slower and inefficient, and it's not as personal. You don't make that connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know that because with some students, I spoke them talking about this new barrier that is, for example, before, if we want to talk to somebody in United States, it's a little bit difficult because we need to send how do you say that, a letter to them. But now we don't have this barrier because we have Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat or whatever.
Exactly.
But we still have a barrier that is the languages. So the people say that the new borders are languages now.
Exactly.
And sometimes they say me, okay, we have this barrier, but we have Google Translator, for example. I know that helps, but it's better if you can to speak and know how to how to speak and how to improve that way to communicate an idea, for example.
Exactly.
Okay, so and about traveling to Guatemala, what are your expectations before travel to Guatemala?
So I have done quite a bit of traveling in Central and South America previous to this. So I wasn't that nervous. I have a lot of friends who have traveled in Guatemala before, and they had nothing but amazing things to say about the country, how beautiful it was, how nice everyone was, and I found that to be true for sure. I was shocked at how nice everyone was. You don't get that in every country. Everyone was just
great.
Anyone you pass on the street will help you out or answer your question or just say hi. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
And, a lot of people have a misconception, I think, about Central America and some of the countries here because some people think it's dangerous. And, there are places that are dangerous, but especially here in San Pedro, it's extremely safe. I never felt danger at all, especially when you stay with a host family, because you can really talk to them and understand, how do I stay safe in a foreign country? Any country, you need to know kind of how to navigate. And it's really nice because the host family, tells you where you can go safely, which here is pretty much everywhere. Even as a woman, I came to Guatemala by myself, and I didn't have any problems. So I think it's really safe here. It's just a really nice, tight-knit community. Yeah,
nice. Good to know that. I know, for example, in this case, San Pedro or the towns around Lake Atitlan, it's very safe.
Extremely.
I think because there is a touristic place, and the people are friendly with the tourism. So this is one of the main reasons that is extremely safe here. But that like other countries around the world, some parts are dangerous. But you don't. In Guatemala, the dangerous part of Guatemala, it's like a boring place. You don't have any to look for there.
There's no reason to go there.
Exactly. So and. In your opinion, do you think that Guatemala it's expensive or cheap?
Oh, it's very cheap. It's the cheapest country I've ever traveled to. I was shocked at how cheap it was. And this program is extremely affordable. That's one of the reasons I chose Guatemala to study Spanish is, at first I was looking at programs in Spain and they were just so expensive. There was no way I was going to be able to afford it. And then I started checking out programs in Guatemala, and it was more affordable to pay for school here and live here than it is to live even without school in the United States. Yeah,
and I mean, most of people, when you say something is cheap, they have the idea that it's like a bad quality.
No, not at all. You get amazing quality, like fresh fruit, amazing food, an incredible education, and I can actually afford it as a medical student, which is rare, especially not in the United States. So.
And the environment here, I mean, and that when you think about learning a new language, you think about a classroom with 4 walls. But what do you think here? How was your classroom here?
That was another reason why I chose this school, because I saw on your website, the beautiful pictures of like the little, I don't know what you call them. The
In Spanish, we say, I mean, here at school, we say ranchos, but
ranchos.
it's just the name what we put.
It's like
it's like a
kind of like
palapa
a
or.
little hut.
Yeah.
Little. It's like a tent, an outdoor tent, and then it has a table and a whiteboard, and then you have this beautiful, perfect view of the lake. And as soon as I saw that picture online, I was like, okay, that's where I'm gonna study Spanish.
Yeah, nice to know that. And the other one, if somebody wants to come to Guatemala, a friend, for example.
Yeah.
Which kind of activities do you recommend to do? Like, if they be here, they need to do here.
Here in San Pedro or in Guatemala in general?
Here in San Pedro,
Yeah.
again in Guatemala.
Yeah, in San Pedro, oh gosh, it's so fun here. There's so many things to do. I think Lake Atitlan is just such an incredible place to spend however much time you want here because everything's really accessible. If you want to go to any of the surrounding towns like San Marcos or Panajachel, any of them, you just jump on a lancha and you'll be there in a few minutes. And the lancha ride is incredible because it's on this extremely beautiful lake with volcanoes around you. So even that is a fun experience. But I went kayaking a lot. I really loved that. I went on a few hikes like to Mirador and San Juan. And then when I was in San Juan, I learned about the natural textiles that the women make there, and they hand dye everything with dye from plants, which was really amazing. I wish I had more time here. I think if I could have done it over again, I would have done much more than 2 weeks. That's probably my recommendation is if you come here, you need to spend at least a month.
Okay.
That's what I would do in the future, is a month, because then you can really do everything that you want. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think San Pedro, it's in a nice, how do you say that? Like point, because you can go to the area, because you can go to the coast in 2 hours by car, or you go to the north to the country by car 2 hours. And so, I think this is a good thing that San Pedro is.
Yeah.
But in general about Guatemala, what kind of activities you recommend to do?
All of the outdoor activities because the weather is so beautiful, and I mean, I don't know if it probably has a rainy season. But during this time that I've been here, it hasn't rained at all, and the weather's been so beautiful every day. So you really need to explore the outdoors. There's a bunch of hikes you can go on with like really beautiful views. And then I know a couple of people that I've met traveling have said that in Antigua they went on the volcano, and it's an overnight trek, and it's really beautiful, and they get to see an actual volcano erupting, so that's really cool. There's a lot of things to do here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And just to finish, I want to say thank you very much because we talk about your medical experience at school, and it was nice for me to talk about some books and things like that.
Yeah.
And just to finish, do you have some recommendations or advice to people who wants to come to Guatemala?
I mean, if you're at all considering it, I would say do it. What else? Yeah, I would say buy the flight, book the school, just do it. It's worth it.
Yeah. And the last one, do you think that it's better if you join a Spanish school, or San Pedro Spanish school in this case, than just come and just look the activities by your own, for example?
No, I think it's much better if you already are in a school, because then you have this kind of built-in community of people that can give you amazing recommendations. Or, if you're traveling by yourself like I was, it was really nice that you do these activities. There's an activity almost every day, a really cool one. And, if you want to meet people, it's really nice because there's already other people from many other countries here. And then you meet people through your homestay too, because I had, now I have 3 other people in my homestay, and we eat dinner together every night. So it's good to get to know other people too.
Okay, thank you very much, Maggie.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
so happy to see you here.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Can you say to the camera, welcome to San Pedro Spanish School?
Sure.
1, 2, and 3.
Welcome to San Pedro Spanish School.